G'day everyone, I'm Adam, I'm the registered nurse here at CLO. I just wanted to run through a few things with you. So there's two in particular I wanted to show you. Med chart, I'm going to go through that in a lot of detail for you so you know every page of it that you need to, as well as the Webster pack. So these are the medication packs that we give most of our medications out at CLO, and I'll explain to you where all the information is on these as well. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to start with though is the med chart. So when we're doing our med checks, we're looking at the whole thing. Okay, so this is the whole document. I'm going to scooch over here for you. So what we're looking at, we've got the name, the full name, their date of birth, right there, and the image, okay? And what we're expecting to see is that needs to match identically with here. And obviously these two images don't match exactly. These are for training purposes, but in the interest of your client, that everything should match, okay? There shouldn't be a single number out of line. Now, going through here, this red spot, that's where you'll find allergies, okay? So whether the allergy is medication-based or whether it's food-based or otherwise, it will tell you what the allergy is and what the reaction is as well. And that's really important too. So if we've got a client with anaphylaxis, you need to be super familiar with how to administer an EpiPen. Okay, and there will be a video embedded in this to be able to show you that, okay? So don't stress if you can't see it right now, you will. Okay, so here in this giant section here is where any special considerations are going to be mentioned. So whether the client needs the medication given with food, whether they can have it with juice or with milk or whatever other considerations, crushed, split, that's where you'll find the information. So if it's not here, you don't do it, okay? This is a legal order from the doctors, okay? So it has to be clearly labeled here, all right? So let's keep going through. Oh, actually, before I do that, this at the very top here, I don't know if you can really see that. So it says chart number 1 of 1. So what we're looking at is if it says 1 of 2, it means there's another chart that you need to look for. Okay, it might be that the client has so many medications that it covers 2 charts. Be careful, always look, all right? Once you get familiar with your client, you'll know whether there's 1 or 2 or 3, but for the first few times you work with anyone, always check for this information. So as we keep going, we've got some information here. These are just additional pages for medication as well as telephone orders. These aren't something that we use. But if we scooch over to the next page, this one in particular that's green, this one's really important to note. These are short-term medications. Okay, you can see it written there. You can see it written up the top here. Now, again, professional orders just from the doctor only. And these are for things like antibiotics. Okay, so you've got them there, antibiotics. Again, we've got a signature and a start date, but in this instance, we've got a signature and an end date as well. So we know when to stop giving the medication. And when you see lines like this, what that is telling you is from this date onwards, we're not given any more. And a bit difficult to read there, but it says it's cease. So it means it's ended. So cease or ceased means it's ended or no longer being given. And obviously the doctor needs to sign that too. So the signatures all should match, okay? So, and what you can see here is like we've given it for as long as we can up here, but there've been 2 more additional days of the exact same medication. So I think that ends up being 14 days all up, and then they've just ended it. So it's the same medication, but just gone over 2 lines, all right? So that's really important to note too. So you're always looking at the medication, especially if your client has had a visit to the GP since you've looked after them. And then we move on, and this is the regular medication, okay? So what you're seeing there are regular meds. Zooming in for you here. Again, client's name as well as the date of birth should be at the top. But then you've got each kind of box here. So these are like the boxes, have each medication in it. So you've got a medication there, that's the medication name. You've got the prescriber signature, so the doctor's signature, start date. And because this is a regular medication, there's no end date, okay? So there's no time that this is meant to end, so we're gonna continuously give it until otherwise told. The dose, the route, and the frequency, so how often are we giving it? So in this instance, it's once a day, but on alternating days, here we've got the time. So each medication has times in which they're expected to be given. And up the top here, what will you do as the person giving it? You write the date in. So each line down, each column, is the date. is a date is a date. So today's date, the next day's date, all the way through. Okay, you need to double check every medication. So the way we look at it, you know that this is a legal order because it has the prescriber signature and the start date, but you also see everything here. So if we're checking our rights, for example, we've got the right person. Let's say we've compared this against the Webster Pack, so we know the right person is there. The right medication, we've got the right dose, the route, the right time as well. So these are the things that we're looking for. All right, part of the right person though, if I can open it up, is checking that front page. So we're checking the right person. That's what we're looking for. Yeah, until we're obviously looking at the person in front of us. Once we look at them in front of us, then we're comparing this to them. All right, so back to the regular meds. We're checking each medication. We're checking the time. Has it been given before? Has someone already given the 8 o'clock medications and you weren't aware of it? Maybe they hadn't signed for it yet. That's important. Always double check if you're working with lots of other people. But as we continue past these regular medications, we've got another page of regular medications. But here we've got the PRN section. So what we're looking at is the medication that's when required. Okay, so when the medication is required for Gwen Walker, and obviously there are various medications here. Every chart will look different. This is a training chart, which is why it looks messy. I've been using this to assess people with. So do understand that the way we document on this chart is slightly different to the regular medication. So I'll draw your attention to the paracetamol up here. So we follow a date, time, quantity, and signature across, and then each subsequent dose that we give goes down the line and then crosses and goes down. Okay, so the date, you write the date in, you write the time in, you write the amount given, and then you sign for that too. Again, we're following all the information here: right person, right medication, right dose, right route, and right frequencies there for the time. That's how we know. All right, possibly the last and most important page for you as learners of this Assist with Medication training course is this back page. I've referred to it in the videos, but I want to draw your attention to it again. This is where every abbreviation that you'll come across is. Okay, so regardless of what abbreviation you're looking at, whether you're familiar with it, whether you're not familiar with it, this is where you check. Okay, it even has 6 of the 8 rights that we use on the back as a prompt for you. And we do use the 24-hour clock. Let's say you can't remember it for some reason. You've got the example of AMs and PMs here too. It goes all the way down. There is just so much information here that if you are confused, you're uncertain, you're looking at something and you go, I don't remember what the acronym stands for, this is where you can go, okay? It's really, really helpful. So we've done with the med chart. Brilliant document, really clear, really easy to understand. All right, let's go on to the Webster Pack. This is a Webster Pack. This is a full Webster Pack. It has the days of the week going all the way down. It has the times or the moments where we give the medication. Now it does say breakfast, lunch, dinner, and bedtime, but what you'll often find is that coincides with an actual time written by the GP. So breakfast is likely going to be 8 a.m. Lunch is likely going to be 12. Dinner is likely going to be 6 p.m. And bedtime's likely going to be 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock or something similar to that. Okay, so all the information that we need that's on here and on the back is all written by the pharmacist. Okay, so this is not written by the GP. This is written by the pharmacist based off this. Okay, the pharmacist gets this, or they get the scripts, then they write it based off this. So looking here, Gwen Walker, all her information's here, images here, signed by the pharmacist. In this red base, I know it's a bit hard to read. I'm not expecting you to until you see one in person, but this is where all those warnings are. Okay, so all those warning labels, you know, do not operate heavy machinery, those kinds of things are going to be there. Any special medicine information is going to be on the front as well. So we've got Lenoxin there, you can kind of just see there, 62.5 micrograms. It's given on alternating days, so it tells you which days that we're giving it with a Y standing for yes. Okay, so Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, this medication is being given. And that can be visually seen in the, so Lenoxin's the blue medication, and you can see it's in every second one, okay? and it's not in all of them. There you go. All right, so it's visually appealing as well. And so I'll show you on the back here all the other additional information. So looking here, we've got all the medications lined up with every bit of information they need. So the name as well as the dose, and then you've got how often it's being given, and you can see it represented here as well. So how many tablets are being given at breakfast, lunch, dinner, and bedtime. Okay, so breakfast is probably the biggest one. Most days it's 4 tablets. Remembering that on every second day it's only 3 because we're not giving that first medication, which alternates on days. Okay, and as we follow through, if we use Lanoxin as the example, that very first medication, we follow it, we notice it's given its breakfast, but it tells us there in really dodgy shorthand writing. It's not always easily understood, but you've got a blue round tablet, and it should have a mark of U3A, and it should have a score through it. So what a score is a little line in the middle of it. Okay, and that's how we identify it. So when we're looking at the front of the pack, we can look at here and we can go, oh yeah, that's the tablet we're talking about. Obviously in these ones we're using lolly tablets, so don't expect too much of that to match exactly, but the colors will, okay? So this back here is really important that you know. And again, if you are wanting to know breakfast, lunch, dinner, and bedtime, it tells you the medications as well. So it's not just written up here, it's written and broken down here. This is particularly helpful if you've got 6 or 7 or 8 medications here, and you're just like, oh, it's hard to follow each of those because the writing's so small. You've got it here as well, okay? So we've got to be super careful when we give this. So we're checking, let's say we're giving lunchtime on a Tuesday. Okay, so I'm looking here, it's Tuesday here. Okay, cover, it's lunchtime, so I need to be giving this one. Okay, so when you flip it, you need to make sure that you're giving lunchtime here and Tuesday here. So it's this tablet here that I'm going to be giving. Okay, so you're just double checking, you're having a look, and you're going to have a pop of it with the pill bob, and that'll be that. Okay, so I just wanted to draw your attention to what they look like. They're really easy to understand documents once you get to know them. Become familiar with them, especially once you work with your client. You'll start to see them every day. You'll know what they look like, where to find the right information, and you'll become really familiar with them too. So always check, always double check, and you're cross-matching against both of these. If you do have any questions, please let me know. Go to that discussion thread, ask away, and I'll do my best to clarify them. If I need to, I'll put up another video for you as well, okay? So thanks for your time, everyone. Hopefully you found this helpful. See you later.